At some point in your journey, a day will come when the noise fades. A day when you wake up, look around, and realize something profoundly terrifying. Nobody is coming. Not the perfect mentor who will read your mind and solve your problems. Not the perfect, miraculous opportunity that lands cleanly in your lap. Not the flawless, ideal moment where the stars perfectly align, and certainly not some future, magical version of yourself that suddenly has everything figured out without doing the work. Right now, in this room, in this skin, there is only you. And when that realization finally breaks through the illusion, your entire life changes forever. Imagine being trapped inside a prison. Not a physical prison built with iron bars and high concrete walls, but an invisible prison constructed entirely out of your daily habits. Every single morning you open your eyes and promise yourself that today will be different. Today is the day you break the cycle, but every single night you lie in the dark staring at a screen, wondering exactly why you didn't do it. You comfort yourself with a lie. You tell your conscience, tomorrow I will start, but tomorrow smoothly becomes next week. Next week seamlessly degrades into next year. And then one ordinary afternoon, you look at your life and realize you have been living the exact same day for years on end. Different dates on the calendar, the exact same habits, the exact same excuses, the exact same stagnant life. Most people think discipline is a loud, aggressive act of forcing yourself to work until you drop. It isn't. True discipline is a quiet, strategic escape from the prison of your immediate impulses. Let me share a strange truth about human power. The richest person in a room isn't always the individual holding the most currency. The strongest person isn't always the one boasting the largest muscles. The smartest person isn't always the one possessing the highest tested IQ. The most powerful person in any room is the person who can fully control themselves, because when you master your internal world, you gain the rare ability to dictate your external future. In a modern society where every single second is engineered to distract you, self-control is no longer just a good trait. It has become a literal superpower. Think back to the classic psychological experiments of childhood. A child sits alone in a room with a single treat. They are given a simple choice: eat it now or wait 15 long minutes and receive 2 instead. Some give in instantly. Others endure the wait. Decades later, tracking those same individuals revealed a stark reality. Those who could delay gratification achieve vastly superior outcomes in their education, their health, their finances, and their relationships. Discipline is never about punishing yourself or saying no forever. It is about having the strength to say no right now, so that you possess the power to say a massive, life-altering yes later on. Every cheap distraction you resist today is a direct investment in the freedom of your tomorrow. Here is the heavy truth that most individuals spend their entire adult lives actively avoiding. Your life is not a reflection of what you wish for. It is not a reflection of what you know, what you intend, or what you beautifully post online for others to see. Your life is a precise mathematical reflection of what you repeatedly execute. Knowledge is completely useless without application. Everybody already knows that physical exercise heals the body. Everybody knows that reading expands the mind. Everybody knows that mindlessly scrolling through a screen for 5 hours a day is slowly eroding their potential. Therefore, lack of information is not your problem. Execution is your problem. The agonizing gap between the life you currently have and the life you desperately want is not filled with bad luck. It is filled entirely with the actions, the conversations, and the work you keep postponing for a more convenient day that does not exist. Imagine walking down a path and suddenly meeting yourself 10 years from now. Not the idealized, highly successful version you hope you'll become, but the literal raw version created purely by your current daily actions. Look them in the eyes. What would they say to you? Would they embrace you and thank you for the sacrifices you made? Or would they look at you with deep regret and ask, "Why did you keep making us wait? Why did you quit when it got uncomfortable? Why did you trade our ultimate inheritance for temporary comfort?" Every choice you make today is not just an isolated event. It is a vote for the identity of the person you are actively becoming. You do not wake up successful overnight. You build success one vote at a time, one correct decision at a time. The defining difference between the 99% who dream and the 1% who achieve is not a lack of fatigue. Both groups get exhausted. Both groups face unfair obstacles. Both groups suffer through terrible, unmotivated days. The difference is purely found in their primary question. The 99% look at their feelings and ask, "Do I feel like doing this today?" The 1% look at their reality and ask, "What needs to be done?" The 99% wait around for a fleeting spark of inspiration. The 1% step into the dark and manually generate their own momentum through systemized action. Before you close your eyes and drift off to sleep, I want you to perform a simple task. Stand completely alone in front of a mirror. Look yourself dead in the eyes. Strip away the social media filters, the excuses, the stories you tell your friends. And ask yourself one piercing question. Can I actually trust myself? Can you honestly trust your own voice to keep its word when no one else is watching? Can you trust yourself to cross the finish line of what you voluntarily started? Can you trust your resolve when the initial excitement fades and the reality of the grind gets incredibly heavy? True, unshakable confidence does not come from watching motivational videos on the internet. True confidence comes strictly from historical evidence, the physical, undeniable evidence that you repeatedly do exactly what you say you are going to do. Every minor promise kept to yourself adds another solid brick to your foundation. Eventually, those stacked bricks form an impenetrable fortress of self-belief. One day, this exact version of your life will draw to a permanent close. This specific chapter, this year, this youthful window of opportunity, this fleeting moment, it will all be gone. And when you inevitably look back at the landscape of your life, you will not remember the mindless videos you consumed, the clever excuses you manufactured, or the comfortable paths you chose. You will vividly remember the exact day you finally decided to take 100% responsibility for your existence. The day you completely stopped negotiating with your potential. The day you looked into the void and accepted that nobody was coming to save you. And in a beautiful, poetic twist, that terrifying realization will become your greatest source of absolute freedom. Because the exact moment you accept that nobody is coming is the exact moment you are forced to become the hero of your own story. If you are watching this right now, make a quiet, unyielding promise to yourself. Not a broad promise for next month, not a vague resolution for next year, a binding contract for tomorrow morning, one single action, one disciplined habit, one definitive step forward. Leave your mark in the comments below. I start today. Years from now, you may completely forget the sound of my voice. You may completely forget this video. But whatever you do, never forget this exact moment. Because your future is being built right now, one decision at a time.